All right, let's dive in. We're going deep today
Deep.
into how women signal their interest.
Okay.
And we're dissecting this article. 5 signs she's claiming her interest in you and warning other women to back off. Now, I know the title sounds a little bit like a dating manual from the 90s.
A little aggressive, maybe.
But trust me,
Yeah.
there's some really interesting stuff here.
Absolutely.
We'll be looking at body language,
Okay.
online strategies,
Mm-hmm.
all the subtle ways women stake their claim.
Well, so to speak.
Yeah, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating topic.
Yes.
So much of this stuff flies under the radar.
Right.
You know, both the signals we send and the signals we receive.
Totally.
So let's start unpacking this.
Okay.
The article jumps right into physical cues,
Okay.
you know, suggesting that a woman might position herself closer to someone she's interested in.
Interesting.
Not in like a super obvious way,
Right.
but just enough to create a sense of presence.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, it makes sense if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, we use proximity to communicate all the time.
Yeah.
It's almost like an unspoken invitation
Oh.
to engage,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
To step into each other's orbit.
And it's not just about physical distance. It's like
Uh-huh.
lingering a little longer in a conversation or finding excuses to be in the same space.
Totally.
The article actually uses the phrase lingering longer.
Huh.
It made me wonder,
Yeah.
is this always a sign of romantic interest?
Right.
Or could it just be someone who really loves comfy chairs?
That's a good point.
Right.
I mean, a single instance of lingering
Mm-hmm.
might not mean much,
Okay.
but if you start to notice a pattern,
Yeah.
it's more likely to be a signal,
Got it. Yeah.
especially if it's coupled with other cues.
It's like piecing together a puzzle, right?
Exactly.
Looking for those clusters of behavior.
Yes.
Okay, so let's move on to touch. The article really emphasizes how women use touch
Huh?
as a deliberate form of communication.
I think that's super interesting.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, touch is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
It allows us to cross a boundary in a way that words can't.
Right.
Think about it like a light touch on the arm,
Okay.
a playful nudge.
Yeah.
These are ways of testing the waters, right?
Interesting.
Gauging the other person's response.
The article specifically mentions a
Yeah.
lingering touch on the arm,
Right.
almost like they're saying,
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this connection. Are you feeling it too?
Exactly.
And it's not just the touch itself.
Right.
It's the reaction to the touch.
Absolutely.
A smile,
Yeah.
a return touch,
Uh-huh.
maybe even like a slight leaning in.
All positive signs.
It's like this silent dance.
Yeah.
Both people sending and receiving cues,
Totally.
trying to figure each other out.
And what's fascinating
Yeah.
is so much of this happens
Mhm.
subconsciously.
We're not even aware of it half the time.
Exactly.
So we've seen how physical cues can ignite that spark.
Yeah.
But what about those moments that take a connection beyond those first impressions?
Right.
The article suggests
Yeah.
shared experiences and conversations
Right.
play a crucial role.
Makes sense.
When a woman recalls specific details
Yeah.
from past interactions,
Right.
it's a strong indicator that she's not just passively engaging.
She's present.
She's actively processing and valuing those moments with you.
I like that she's present.
The article even points out
Yeah.
how she might bring up seemingly insignificant details,
Purchasing.
things you wouldn't expect her to remember. Have you ever experienced that?
Oh, absolutely.
Like where someone remembers something,
Yeah.
a tiny detail
Uh-huh.
that you yourself had forgotten?
All the time.
It's amazing. It's
Well-
like this selective memory,
Right.
and it's a powerful sign of attraction.
That shows they're paying attention to the nuances of your interactions.
Like she's saying, I remember this because it matters to me.
Exactly.
It's like building a little world between the two of you,
Mhm.
filled with inside jokes, shared references, those unique moments
Yeah.
that set your connection apart from others.
Establishing intimacy.
And as those shared experiences accumulate, the bond deepens and the attraction strengthens.
Absolutely.
Speaking of connection,
Yeah.
the article takes this fascinating turn
Okay.
into the digital realm,
The digital realm.
exploring how women use social media to signal interest.
It's a whole other landscape.
Right.
Yeah.
Social media has become such a key part
Uh-huh.
of the dating landscape.
It's where we curate our image, connect with others,
And flirt.
and flirt.
It's not just about liking each other's posts.
Right.
The article suggests that women might engage in
Yeah.
what it calls digital mirroring.
Mm.
Have you ever noticed this?
I have.
Where someone you're interested in suddenly starts posting about things you've discussed. liking the same bands you do.
It's like trying to create this sense of shared interests.
Shared interests and values.
Right.
It's subtle but effective.
It is.
It's like saying, hey, we're on the same wavelength. It's like a digital dance, right?
It is.
Each comment, shared interest. It's a step towards building a connection.
And what's interesting is women are often very strategic about how they use social media.
Okay.
It's targeted.
So we've covered physical cues and digital strategies. Now let's delve into something a little more intriguing.
Right.
The article calls it protective instincts.
Protective instincts.
Yeah. This is where we start to see this fascinating interplay between psychology and behavior.
Okay.
When a woman feels a strong connection, there's often this subconscious desire to protect that connection.
To protect it.
To make sure it's not threatened.
Interesting.
So it's not necessarily about jealousy or possessiveness?
Not always.
Okay.
It's often more about subtly asserting a claim, making it clear that she sees you as someone special.
The article gives some examples, like joining a conversation if you're talking to another woman, or using playful teasing to redirect your attention back to her.
It's like she's subtly saying, hey, this is my territory.
But how do you know the difference between playful teasing and genuine insecurity?
That's a good question.
Right.
I think it's about paying attention to the overall context. Is she generally confident and secure? Does she trust you?
Right.
If so, those actions are probably playful and lighthearted.
So it's like a little game.
It can be.
A way of keeping things interesting.
Exactly.
But what about those moments when the connection deepens beyond those initial sparks and playful interactions?
Okay.
The article suggests that rituals and shared environments play a significant role in solidifying a bond.
What do they say about that?
Well, they talk about how rituals, whether it's a regular coffee date or a weekend tradition, create a sense of anticipation and shared history, like signaling a desire to build a future together.
Interesting.
To weave your lives together.
To weave your lives together.
In meaningful ways. And then there's the importance of shared environments.
Okay.
The article suggests that inviting someone into your personal space, whether it's your home or a favorite spot, can be a powerful sign of intimacy.
Because you're letting them into your world.
Right.
Sharing those places that hold significance for you.
It's like a symbolic merging of worlds.
Yeah.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this first part.
We have.
We've explored the subtle ways women signal interest from those initial physical cues to the creation of shared rituals and environments. Fascinating stuff.
It is.
And in the next part, we'll explore how those connections deepen. How trust and intimacy are built.
I'm interested to hear that.
And how women truly integrate someone into their world.
I'm looking forward to it. So those shared rituals and environments, they're often gateways to deeper levels of connection.
Right.
The article really emphasizes the significance of introductions to a woman's social circle, and even more importantly, her family.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
It's like she's saying, hey, I value you enough to want you to meet the people who matter most to me.
Definitely speaks to a certain level of trust.
Trust and commitment.
Commitment, for sure.
It's a vulnerability, right?
Yeah.
Opening up that inner circle to someone new.
That's a risk.
Inviting their opinions, their judgments.
Exactly.
Not a decision made lightly.
Okay, so beyond those introductions, what else does the article highlight?
Well, consistent communication is key.
Okay.
And it's not just about the frequency.
Right.
It's the quality, the initiative.
The initiative, okay.
Is she reaching out first? Sharing details about her day.
Okay.
Checking in just to see how you're doing.
It's about those little efforts.
Those little gestures can reveal a lot.
Yeah, it makes me think about how we all crave those consistent, reliable connections, the people who make us feel seen and heard.
Absolutely.
So as that foundation of trust and communication grows, the article suggests that emotional openness becomes more prominent.
It's a natural progression.
Like a sign that the relationship's moving beyond the superficial.
Beyond the superficial.
Into genuine intimacy.
Right.
I'm curious, what does that look like in practice? Is it about grand declarations of love?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It's often about the little things.
Okay.
Sharing vulnerabilities, expressing fears and dreams, talking about past experiences that have shaped who you are.
It's about letting someone see beneath the surface.
Exactly.
It takes courage to be that vulnerable.
It does.
Like the leap of faith.
Trusting they'll handle those delicate parts of you.
And the article also talks about how she responds to your successes and challenges.
That's a crucial point.
Yeah.
Genuine support during both the highs and lows.
Right.
Is she celebrating your wins?
Okay.
No matter how small, is she there for you when things get tough?
It's like a litmus test for true connection.
It is.
Because when you strip away the surface level stuff, what you're left with is that bedrock of support.
Support and understanding.
It's in those moments of vulnerability, both yours and hers, that true intimacy is forged.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've talked about introductions to loved ones, consistent communication, emotional openness, genuine support.
Yeah.
But the article also delves into some less obvious signs.
Like what?
Shared environments and actions speaking louder than words.
Right.
This part really stood out to me because it highlights how much of communication happens beneath the surface.
It's not always about grand gestures or pronouncements.
It's the subtle ways we show up for each other. What are some examples of that?
Well, imagine you've had a really long day.
Okay.
Super stressful.
Yeah.
And she notices your fatigue. Surprises you with your favorite takeout.
Wow.
Or offers to run an errand.
Okay.
You've been dreading.
That's thoughtful.
It's not about declarations.
Right.
It's those quiet acts of service.
Those are the things that really stick with you.
They do.
It's like a love language in itself.
Absolutely.
Communicating through those thoughtful gestures.
It's about paying attention to those small but significant acts.
Does she remember the little things that matter to you?
Absolutely.
Does she go out of her way to make your life easier?
Those are the most genuine expressions.
It's like a secret language of love.
It is.
Whispered through those everyday acts of kindness.
It's about recognizing that love, connection, interest are often expressed in those unspoken gestures.
So we've seen that building a meaningful connection goes beyond those initial sparks. It's about creating that foundation of trust, open communication, mutual support.
And recognizing those subtle ways women integrate someone into their world.
Through actions as much as words.
Absolutely.
And in the final part of our deep dive, we'll explore how to apply these insights.
That's good.
How to become more attuned to these signals and build stronger, more fulfilling connections.
Looking forward to it.
It's amazing how much we communicate without even realizing it, right?
It really is.
Those subtle gestures, the way we prioritize someone's needs, it all adds up.
It does.
What I'm taking away from this deep dive is these insights aren't just about romantic relationships.
Right.
They apply to friendships, family dynamics, even professional connections.
These principles are universal.
It's like having a secret decoder ring for human behavior.
I like that.
But what if our listener is out there thinking, okay, I'm going to start overanalyzing every interaction I have.
Right.
What would you say to them?
I'd say approach it with a sense of curiosity and playfulness.
Not suspicion or anxiety.
Exactly.
It's not about being hyper-vigilant or trying to manipulate situations.
It's about becoming more aware.
So it's not about turning into some kind of social detective.
No.
It's about becoming more attuned to those subtle cues that are already there.
The key is to approach it with an open mind.
And a willingness to learn.
Because the more we understand these signals, the more effectively we can communicate.
Build stronger connections.
It's like we're all speaking different love languages, even if we don't realize it.
That's a good way to put it.
And by becoming more fluent in those languages, we can create richer, more fulfilling relationships.
Absolutely.
Well, I feel like we've really gone deep today.
Yeah.
From those initial sparks of attraction to those deeper layers of connection.
It's been a fascinating journey.
We've explored the subtle ways women stake their claim.
Yeah.
But I think these insights apply to anyone who's looking to build stronger, more authentic relationships.
It's been a pleasure unpacking these insights with you.
The pleasure was all mine.
And I hope our listeners feel empowered to approach their interactions with a renewed sense of curiosity and awareness.
That's a perfect note to end on.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep connecting, and keep those conversations flowing.